For 3 days, Dorothy felt a deep sadness as she heard nothing from Oz. In contrast, her friends, the Scarecrow, the Tin Woodman, and the Lion, were content. The Scarecrow shared that he had wonderful thoughts, but kept them to himself, believing no one could understand them. The Tin Woodman felt a new, kinder heart within him, different from the one he had when he was made of flesh. The Lion boasted of his bravery, claiming he was unafraid of anything, even fierce creatures like the Kalidas. Despite this, Dorothy longed more than ever to return to Kansas. On the 4th day, Dorothy's spirits lifted when Oz summoned her. Upon entering the throne room, he welcomed her warmly and invited her to sit. He then revealed, "I think I have found the way to get you out of this country." Eagerly, Dorothy asked, "And back to Kansas?" Oz responded, "I'm not sure about Kansas, as I don't know which way it lies. However, the first task is to cross the desert. After that, it should be easier to find your way home." Dorothy, concerned, asked, "How can I cross the desert?" With a thoughtful expression, Oz said, "Well, I'll tell you what I think." This statement indicated that he was about to share his ideas on how to help her. Oz tells Dorothy that he can make a balloon with silk from the palace, but he faces a problem. There is no gas available to fill it. Dorothy points out that if they can't fill the balloon with gas, it won't be useful for their journey, leading Oz to think of alternatives. Oz explains that even though hot air is less effective than gas, it may allow the balloon to float as long as they keep it warm. When Oz confirms he will accompany her in the balloon, Dorothy expresses her happiness and enthusiasm for the adventure ahead. Oz admits, "I am tired of being such a humbug. If I should go out of this palace, my people would soon discover I am not a wizard, and then they would be vexed with me for having deceived them. So I have to stay shut up in these rooms all day, and it gets tiresome." Dorothy expresses her longing, saying, "I'd much rather go back to Kansas with you and be in a circus again." Oz responds, "I shall be glad to have your company." After a brief exchange of gratitude, Oz proposes, "Now, if you will help me sew the silk together, we will begin to work on our balloon." With a needle and thread in hand, Dorothy sews the strips of silk together as Oz cuts them into proper shapes. The colors include light green, dark green, and emerald green, reflecting Oz's artistic vision for the balloon. After 3 days of sewing, they proudly complete a big bag of green silk measuring more than 20 feet long. Oz carefully paints the inside of the balloon with a coat of thin glue to make it airtight. He then announces, "The balloon is ready." Oz states, "But we must have a basket to ride in." This indicates the next step in their adventure. Oz sent the soldier with the green whiskers to fetch a large clothes basket. He secured it with many ropes to the bottom of the balloon. Once everything was ready, Oz informed the citizens that he would be visiting a great brother wizard who lived in the clouds. News of Oz's departure spread quickly throughout the city. Everyone rushed to witness the amazing sight. Oz commanded the balloon to be brought out in front of the palace, where the curious crowd gathered to watch. The Tin Woodman chopped a large pile of wood and built a fire. Oz held the bottom of the balloon over the fire, allowing the hot air to fill the silken bag and lift it. Slowly the balloon swelled and began to rise into the air until the basket barely touched the ground. As he sat in the basket, Oz called out to the crowd, "I am now going away to make a visit. While I am gone, the Scarecrow will rule over you. I command you to obey him as you would me." The balloon tugged at the rope holding it down, eager to rise into the sky due to the hot air inside. Oz called out, "Come, Dorothy," emphasizing her significance. "Hurry up, or the balloon will fly away." "I can't find Toto anywhere," replied Dorothy, who did not wish to leave her little dog behind. Toto had run into the crowd to bark at a kitten, and Dorothy at last found him. She picked him up and ran towards the balloon. Dorothy was just a few steps away when, crack went the ropes, and the balloon began to rise into the air without her. Oz reached out his hands to help her into the basket. "Come back," she screamed. "I want to go too." Oz responded from the basket, "I can't come back, my dear." "Goodbye! Goodbye!" shouted everyone as they looked up at the wizard riding in the basket, rising higher into the sky. That was the last they ever saw of Oz, the wonderful wizard. They remembered him fondly, saying, "Oz was always our friend." The citizens mourned the loss of the wonderful wizard who built the beautiful Emerald City for them. Now that he is gone, they reflect on his legacy and the wise Scarecrow, who has taken on the role of ruler in his absence. For many days, their grief over the wonderful wizard's departure overwhelms them, leaving them in sorrow.